They had a great game plan, super physical, got into us, were swarming us defensively. They were playing us in a way that really forced you into crowds and made you make decisions and, make simple plays. And obviously, our guys, couldn't make those decisions, weren't willing to make those plays. And but their effort level, physicality, I thought the way they, execute offensively, they obviously want to come in, attack us with a big fella, threw the ball into him. He was terrific inside. They just, I thought, deserved it. They deserved to win the game. Outcoached us, outplayed us, outcompeted us, and so we were fortunate. Told the guys in there, I did think, second half, I thought we decided to compete, and that was good. That they decided that was what they wanted to do collectively, and we took better care of the ball. And critical offense, I thought Swope and Robbie were really good down the stretch, and I thought Gibb, second half was terrific. Made some big threes, but also got some great cuts and was terrific off the ball as well. I thought Gibb, second half offensively we were cleaner and a little bit more competitive defensively. So. We found a way through, but again, I think they obviously, looking at from a deserving standpoint, they deserve to win the game.
When you look at the turnovers you had in the first half and the missed free throws, and it's just a lot of empty possessions.
Yeah, the missed free throws are an issue, but that they're down the list of why we were in the situation we were in. The free throws, we work on them. Nobody's missing on purpose. It's a little bit of, I think some of that is guys not being focused. I didn't think we were ready to play in the first half, and I thought when we got the line, just the lack of focus, manifested itself. I think, nobody could say that they came out to that game, ready to compete, and we kind of came out and just thought, well, again, they're 0-7, and and so we're just going to kind of walk out here and roll through this thing. And they're 0-7 against a schedule that most everybody in the country would be 0-7. Like I told the team, this same game last year, they were 0-7. They came to Missouri, to Columbia, and beat Missouri in this same exact game, 0-7. So, I've used in my teams at LMU, talked about appropriate fear a lot. But to have appropriate fear, you actually have to have accomplished something. So you shouldn't have to talk about appropriate fear if you haven't done anything yet. So, we should have been. I thought Jackson State was they did a really good job. Like I said, they're well coached, they're disciplined, they had a game plan, they executed it, they played together, they played hard, they competed inside the game. We won the game because we had better players, and those better players decided in the second half that they were gonna compete inside the game. That was simple as that.
What was it like at halftime then for you?
Exciting, for everybody involved. The halftime adjustment was, do we want to play? It really wasn't a schematic. We moved some ball screens around and did some stuff for Gibb, but it wasn't a schematic adjustment. The adjustment was in the competitiveness and the how hard we were playing on both ends of the floor, and then just being more solid with the ball. Like I told them, it was like a, kind of like Harlem Globetrotters meets Bad News Bears. We were trying to make such remarkably hard passes. And hard shots. Like we went through a stretch of 3 straight shots. Kalu took a Kareem from the 8 feet that missed, and Swope came down, took his own Kareem lefty, which was even better because it was his offhand, which he got fouled on to miss 2 free throws. Then he came back and shot a lefty floater from 12 feet that clanked off. Those are shots you would try and horse if you were feeling frisky. They're not shots to try in a college basketball game when you're actually playing to win. And so everything was high degree of difficulty. We had easy plays to make. They were forcing us into those crowds to make decisions. They were rotating and taking ball side away. It was the same defense they ran in the second half that we got the ball, to guys and got wide open threes and drives. And it was no different in the second half. Their defense was the same, just our willingness and ability to get the ball and again, we have some guys. I've said, we have some guys who are they're just obsessed with degree of difficulty. Like, you think that it's like a gymnastics where they score you, based on it's a 3-point shot, but because it was so hard, we'll give you 7.9 on that, and you don't, and you got to be obsessed with degree of simplicity. And basketball is a game of simplicity, and we have to be more simple and make easy plays for each other, make the game easier for each other instead of making it harder.
Once they started being really disruptive, which was pretty quickly, it seemed like you guys were almost flustered a little bit in terms of
Yeah, no, their physicality and aggressiveness bothered us. They were trapping ball screens. They were every drive they were coming from behind to try to steal the ball. So Robbie got picked a couple times. They were aggressive, deflecting passes. That was the most aggressive defense we've seen all year. Try to get them to play to more gets and less ball screens, which we did some more in the second half, just to loosen it up a little bit, use the pressure releases. But we were hell-bent in the first half on, playing off ball screens and getting the side pick and rolls. And, we have to do a better job but they definitely had us, unquestionably, I don't know, flustered would maybe be an understatement. But, yeah, we were certainly rattled and throwing the ball everywhere. And, again, when teams guard you like that, they're that aggressive, they're rotating that hard, there's plays to be made. But they're basically putting you in crowds and forcing you to make the right play. You get to choose if you want to make the right play or if you want to make the home run. And we made some home run plays. Unfortunately, they were just above the break turnovers, led to layups. So then they were home runs they were pick sixes. We had a transition. We underthrow a lob, like we're throwing a lob to Kalu in transit. It is just, like I said, it was the Harlem Globetrotters meet the Bad News Bears. It was just like couldn't have been less. When teams are pressuring and aggressive like that, you got to meet that with force. You got to play. You got to be with force and physicality. You got to get the ball downhill. You got to get the ball in the seams. You got to drive and punch gaps. You got to be aggressive. And then when they bring help and swarm, you got to get off the ball early to your teammates to force rotation and generate those opposite threes. Second half, we were able to do that at a much higher level than we were in the first half. And and the free throws notwithstanding. We got to clean those up, but again, that's down the list of our issues.
Like Wichita State in any way, or?
Wichita State was different. Wichita State was, we couldn't make a shot, and we let go of the rope in the second half. Like, this is different in the sense that we came out not ready to play. I think that they thought that this was kind of a, we could walk out and just get in between the lines and, and we were going to Jack State was going to roll over and we were going to do whatever we wanted. And then they were, I think, surprised to find out that Jackson State did not get that memo. They actually thought this was a real game and they were going to come out and compete. And so then once that message was transmitted to our guys about, they're actually really playing to win, and so then our guys collectively decided that, okay, well, then we should probably play it hard too and try to win. And the second half, we did that. But again, you got to credit them. They were super aggressive. Took us out. They, like everybody's here done, made a bunch of threes in the second half. I think they made 10 on the night. That's been, unfortunately for us, pretty apropos. We got the line a ton, but we only outscored them 8-4 from the line because, they got line 5 times, but we only made 8 of 22. So, I think, certainly they punched the mouth, and it was a little bit different because I think we came out not ready. Then I think we did actually buckle down and play. But either one is unacceptable. You can't not be ready to play, and you certainly can't let go of the rope when things get hard. So, two different issues, but neither are what you would want.
As a coaching staff, how maddening is it that you're talking competitiveness with a group of college athletes? Is that kind of difficult to deal with as a staff even?
Yeah, it's. If you have to coach that, you're not going to be very good because you can't coach execution. If you're coaching guys to play hard, you're coaching guys to compete, you're coaching guys everything in the program culturally, and obviously, we're nowhere near it. But the base is competing together. Like that's the mantra. Like, we want to compete together. We want to learn and grow through every experience. We want to get better every single day, but we want to really compete together out there and everybody laying the line, doing it as a group on offense and defense, and playing as hard as you can and playing for the guy next to you and playing the right way. And so when, like those things are a slap in the face to that. And again, it's right now, that's just, what I'm talking about is a culture that doesn't exist yet. It will exist. It will exist. But it doesn't yet. And everybody's, like the fans were, booing or whatever. They have a right to boo. They have a right to be upset. They want to see guys compete. They want to see guys lay it on the line. They want to see guys fight tooth and nail. And you win, you lose. I think, you can live with that. But at least I can. I mean, fans maybe can't, but I can. If I feel like, man, we're laying it out there, and we lost tonight because, man, we went 8 for 23 from the line. We couldn't make a shot. We, whatever. We lose a game because of those things. No one's missing free throws on purpose. I know everybody's gonna ask, do you work on free throws? Yes, we work on free throws. But you got to go up the line and make them in a game. And really, in 5 of the 7 games, actually shot free throws pretty well. It's been the Wichita State game and this game, and we've got different things. I mean, Robbie's obviously rusty. He made some huge shots again. He did. We don't win the last 2 games without him, but certainly, 5 turnovers. He's shooting below 50% from the line. I think he shot over 80 last year. He's right now. He knows. And it's nothing. It's not his fault. He's just been injured. He's a shell of himself. Right now. So we got a lot of stuff to deal with. Kellen, is dealing with his deal. So we got a lot of moving parts. But end of the day, you can control competing, and you can control playing together. Like those are 100%. That has nothing to do with shot. Takes no talent. Takes no shot making. So we have to get there, and it's on us as a staff to get them there. You hope that the guys have enough internal personal pride that. It's not an issue, but we will see. I mean, this San Francisco trip comes the perfect time.
Does this feel at all like your first year at Indiana State, just in terms of what you're trying to build with mostly new guys to you, from that perspective?
Yeah, I think yes, in some ways. I think we had some games, like that year, Oakland City at home where we didn't compete, and Evansville at home where we kind of overlooked them in kind of a similar situation. We actually lost the game at home in Evansville, who won like 1 or 2 games in the league all year. And I think we came in, we were like the 2 worst teams by far, and you would have thought we had like won 7 straight championships, like we were Katie and the girls. And we lost at home, and Illinois State, we laid an egg. But, that team for the most part competed their brains out. We just weren't very good. We didn't have talent. But they competed as hard as they could. We lost Tyreek Key to a season-ending injury, our best player before the season. We had a bunch of injuries, not like this year, but a lot of injuries. But that team, they fought, they cared, they laid it on the line. They gave it everything they had every single night. And that laid, I said many times, that laid the seeds for this. But the cultural piece takes time, and it takes guys being bought into what you want to do. And I told the guys in the locker room, I could be disappointed with a lot of different things, but we have a lot of guys from a lot of different cultures. But, Robbie and Swope, they've won. They understand what I'm looking for, what it takes, what it does. And, the craziest part was we had 3 really good practices coming in tonight. We actually competed in practice. We tried. I thought we had made progress. I'm like, this is good. We've really made some strides in these last 3 days. And then to come out and do that is just, that to me is unreal. And so not to be ready to play again, to the missing free throws, whatever, even some of the turnovers, hey, they're pressuring you. You're not going to be perfect, but we could have obviously mitigated those as we did in the second half, in the first half. But you can't come into a game. Well, you can. We did, but you should not come into a game against anybody and take the temperature of the game, be like, all right, let me see if I'm going to come out at 62% effort and see if that's enough. Okay, it's not enough. Let me get to 67. 67, all right, we're still losing. All right, I'm not playing well. Let me get to 72. And you're just trying to constantly feel for like what the game's going to require from you versus just coming out and saying, hey, I'm locked in. I'm playing as hard as I can, whether it's, Jackson State, Harris. It doesn't matter. Like if there's competition, there's a scoreboard, like I am competing with every fiber of my being. We're competing, we're doing it together, we're locked in, we're playing every possession with as much fight and discipline and toughness and connectivity as we can, and then the cards will fall where they may, because you can't do any better than that.
Kellen,
No, go ahead.
how'd Kellen come through? It looked like he gave a big boost.
I thought Kellen was good, man. We needed him. He gave us 14, 15 minutes. And I thought it was important. I thought his bench minutes were really good. It was good to see some of those guys, come in and play. We're obviously, searching for depth. I thought Larry's second half minutes were better. First half, some breakdowns, but second half, I thought his compete level was higher. I thought Kobe effort level was good. Numbers weren't great, but his effort level was good in really both halves. But Kellen's always going to play hard. He's got to be more disciplined to the scheme. But in terms of how hard he plays and how much he cares, it'd be hard to find somebody who, cares more than Kellen. We got to get him, like I said, more sound and understanding what's going on. But he hit the floor a couple times. He made some hustle plays that really, spurred the crowd, and that's what the crowd wants to see. They want to see a group of guys that are, laying it out there, and everybody can live with that, and so he embodies that.
Is that how
15
I was going to ask, is that how you're going to have to play with him now moving forward until something more concrete comes in terms of what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're trying. I mean, I think as long as he's restricted in practice, he's going to be restricted in games. They were trying to give me a breakdown of how many minutes in practice equates to games. Like I'm not smart enough to do all that. I always think there's in those scenarios there's those that don't know and those that don't know they don't know, and so it's hard to gauge what practice is. And I'm just one of those guys that doesn't know. But so we were trying to, as long as there's restrictions in practice, then we're not going to have restrictions in the games. But once he's unrestricted in practice, and I don't know when that'll be, then he would be able, they would pull the restrictions off him in terms of the game. But tonight we were going to play him in that 15 to 20 minute window max, and I was hoping we wouldn't have to use him even that much, but the game kind of called for it, his energy level, and again he was one guy that seemed to be turned up from the beginning, just chomping the bit to play, which we needed a little bit of a boost, energy boost. He provided that.
So no ID bags for him?
No IV bags as far as just for me after that game. There's none for him, only for me after that. But no, he was fine. I think he's dealt with some illness and infections and various things. I think that's exacerbated his issues. But we're certainly, I know the medical team's hard at work trying to figure it out. And so hopefully we'll have an answer and resolution. But we'll see where he looks like here when we land in San Francisco tomorrow night, and then how he looks in practice, and what if there's any restrictions, what those are, and then what that looks like from a game standpoint.
Is Amari okay?
Amari, yeah, he's okay. He's okay. Yeah. He just did not play in late in the second half.
He seemed to have.
Yeah, he just had stuff on his knee. No, Amari's fine. It was just, it was a game where late. I gave KT some minutes, and then to close, I want to go with Kobe, because we thought he could provide some solid defense. So that was why. But Amari's fine.
You said this is the perfect time for San Francisco?
Yes, because it's snowing here, but mainly because I think it's exactly what we need at this point. We need to go out and play a quad one road game. We need to go out and experience that. We need to go out and see what the line is, what the level is, what that looks like. Because I think San Francisco is very much, there's a few teams in our league that are playing an extraordinarily high level. We got a long way to go to become a good team. We got a lot of work to do to become even a good basketball team, never mind a high-level team. But San Francisco's, that's a chance for us to go out and challenge ourselves against a really good team on the road, first road game of the year, quad one road game, excellent team, and it's going to, competition can drive improvement. Competition, you get out and you play a team like that, and you're not ready to play, and you come out and don't compete every possession, and you kind of, take some possessions off or turn the ball over or soft with it or lose focus defensively, you're going to find yourself not down 5 at half. You'll be down 25 at half. And so it's exactly, what we need for our team to go out there. I think the time away will do us good. I think getting together, just getting the guys, in one space will be good. But I think most importantly, the competition and playing a team that good on their home floor, that'll be comparable to what the top of the A-10 is. That's going to be in that vein of Dayton and VCU. We need that because we need to see exactly where we are. We need to get a measuring stick, and it'll be great for our guys, and it'll drive improvement, without question in my mind.
Gibson's 12 points away from the school record. Do you see anything in him as this appointment with destiny draws closer?
Nah, Gibbs not going to give you. He's pretty even keeled, man. He's but he's he's exactly what you would want, and so is Anthony Bonner, but exactly what you want the leading scorer in school history to be, man. He's just, he's a guy that's become great through his work ethic. He's as dependable as they come. He shows up every day. He comes to work. You don't have to worry about him missing days. He competes inside the game. He does all the right things away from the floor. He's as good a human being as you'll find. He's a great representative of St. Louis and what we want this place to be about in terms of, what he does in the classroom, what he does. He's the same in every area. He's we talk about having high standards for yourself. Gibb has really high standards for himself on the court, off the court, in every aspect of his life. And so it's going to be it's great that, it'll happen, and looking forward to it. And he'll set some, hopefully by the end of this year, set some marks that'll be pretty hard to catch in terms of points and threes and some things, and deservedly so, man. The guy stayed here. He's been incredibly loyal. He's been an unbelievable Billiken, and he's been one of the really joys of getting to coach here has been getting to spend his last year with him.
Do his teammates even know that he's approaching this? Has it been mentioned?
We have not, but I'm sure we'll mention it. I'll probably pull him out if he gets to 11 against San Francisco to make sure he gets it against Chicago State. But no, yeah, pull him out. But no, we'll mention it though, and I think it's a big deal. I mean, that's a he's played obviously some more games than Anthony Bonner, but not a whole lot more. He's played less minutes.
Yeah.
In that time frame, and again, to me, like, what he's done, how consistent he's been, and everything. Like I said, we'll certainly let them know, and we'll celebrate it, when it happens, because it's a big deal. And I know, hopefully he gets it in San Francisco and in a win, and we get back here and celebrate it in Chaffetz before Chicago State.
Yeah. He's made more threes than Bonner too.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.